Hi everyone, so if you're watching this for the first time, my name's Marianne. I'm the owner and the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. One of the areas I've been working with for many years is depression and anxiety. So my late sister, she struggled with depression for many years of her life. And sometimes people don't necessarily know what the signs and symptoms are of depression. Now, although you might be thinking, oh, I'm just been feeling a bit sad, or I don't know why I can't shift this low mood. The majority of people do not go and see their doctor to be assessed or diagnosed. There's a lot of stigma around getting a diagnosis of depression, but what I would say to people is that's usually the first step with anxiety or depression, is to speak to your doctor or a medical professional, and at least you'll know either way. It doesn't automatically mean that you have to then go on medication. So some of the signs or symptoms that you may be depressed are, the first thing is that you have a lack of interest in the things that you normally would be enthusiastic about. So maybe you've always had a passion for drawing, or you're the person who used to like going out for a run or going to the gym. When you then start to lose your passion for those things, you literally can't bring yourself to do it anymore, but the thought of doing those things fills you with dread, then that could be a sign that you may be depressed, because you can't find the energy or the passion for those things. Similarly, losing your appetite, loss of appetite is a big one as well. So unless something's happened in your life, so a bereavement or a major event, which means your appetite has been lost, if you just all of a sudden, the food that you used to enjoy, you can smell it, you can cook it, but you just can't seem to bring yourself to eat it, it could potentially mean that you have depression. Now, all of the things I'm mentioning don't mean on their own that, yeah, you're depressed. That's why when you speak to a doctor, they will assess, and they have specific assessments that they do so that they can rule out other things, or that they can say that it is potentially depression. Another thing is you withdraw from other people, or when you are around other people, you're not yourself. So this could be anxiety or depression, but when you withdraw from other people, it means that if you previously used to be someone that loved being around your family and friends, you love being in a crowd, you're that social and bubbly personality, but all of a sudden you're either cancelling, going out to meet with friends, you're either not doing that, you're not initiating that, but also when you are around people, you just seem a bit lost and withdrawn. That could indicate signs of depression, mild or moderate depression. Another thing as well which comes into that is a lack of sleep. Now, lack of sleep is another one where lots of people struggle with sleep, and that's why, as I've said, it's not about just singling out one of these things and saying, oh, I'm depressed. But if there's a combination of these things, then it just could be that you are depressed. So having sleepless nights when there's no reason for a lack of sleep, so it's not because you've changed your sleep routine, it's not because you're going through a significant life-changing event, it's just you're unable to sleep, you have negative thoughts running through your head, you just can't seem to settle. It could be due to depression, but as I've said, it depends on what's going on as well in the daytime and what's going on throughout your week. Another big sign of depression is suicidal thoughts. Now, some people will say, well, everyone at some point will feel like they don't want to be here, or everyone at some point will think, what would it feel like to just not have struggles and things. So suicidal thoughts, if they are frequent, and that means daily or weekly or regularly, they're coming into your head, and then they turn from just thoughts into intention or ideation, we call it. That's where you have ideas of how you're going to end your life. That is a major sign of depression, because even though the majority of people fleetingly might just think about what it would be like not to be here, the majority of people then don't turn those thoughts into, okay, well, this is the way that I would do it, or they're not standing at a bus stop thinking I'm going to jump into the road, or driving their car and thinking I could just turn the wheel. It's completely different. So if you are having those thoughts, even if they're not regular, that is a sign of depression. Another sign is that you stop caring about how you look, and you stop taking care of yourself. So as well as that, the not eating, you may not shower or take care of your personal hygiene. You may stop even caring about how you look in terms of getting dressed. For many people, it would be even a matter of not being able to get out of bed. When you do get up, you struggle to even get dressed, you struggle to put on makeup, do your hair. And I'm only saying that if that's what you normally would do. If you're someone that doesn't really normally put on makeup or do your hair, then that's no different to what you would normally do. But I'm talking about people who you can clearly see a decline in their personal appearance, but also in their hygiene and their personal grooming. And for men, you know, it might be that they just haven't shaved. It might be that usually they used to get their hair cut regularly, but then they've stopped doing that. So those are signs. So there's lots of other signs that may be that you are depressed, and that includes just being numb to the world, checking out a lot of the time, just being detached from people, having a lack of empathy, you know, having a feeling like nothing matters, what's the point in any of this? So all of those things can be leading towards the fact that you may be depressed. So what I would say to people is there's loads of research online, there's loads of things that you can do. You can go and speak to a counsellor, you can speak to your GP, but don't sit and suffer in silence. There are lots of people who are considering, am I depressed? Do I have low mood? What's going on with me? I'm just not the same as I used to be. But they're kind of worried about doing something about it. Don't worry about what other people think. If you are struggling, reach out for help. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have, feel free to share it with others. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon. Bye.